Good morning, children. Today we are going to discuss about genetics. In that, you know very well the variations monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. Like that we discussed, right? The study about the genes is called what is called genetics, right? And the heredity means what? What are the heredity? What is the heredity? Transfer of the characters from parents to offsprings is called heredity. So, genetics is defined as a branch of science which deals with the study of heredity and variations. Who coined the genetics? Bateson, like that we discussed. There are two types of traits: inherited traits, acquired traits. The traits are the characters. Traits are the characters which will be spread from one generation to another generation is called inherited, which will not spread from one generation to another generation is called the what you called acquired traits. Like that we discussed. So rules of inheritance are Mendel's contribution, you know very well. So Mendel is a great scientist. He is a mathematician and also studied about science from University of Vienna. You know very well, it's a great scientist. He only developed the pretty called genetics, especially the hereditary related studies. Okay, so what are the rules for inheritance and Mendel's contribution we are going to discuss. See now, our knowledge about inheritance of traits based upon Mendel's work only. Right now, what you are thinking, these all the things stuff is because of Mendel's work. He conducted experiment over a period of 8 years on the common garden pea plant. 8 years he worked on common garden pea plant. What is it? 8 years common garden pea plant. What do you call it? Scientific name of pea plant? Pisum sativum. So select garden. Why the Mendel selected the garden pea plant? Why? Because garden pea plant has short life cycle and bisexual. Even we can do artificial cross pollination. Like that, and 7 traits selected by Mendel were readily available in all pea plants. 7 characters, 7 pairs, what you called selected by Mendel's were readily available in all pea plants. They can be raised, maintained, handled conveniently. So we can raise, we can maintain, we can handle conveniently. Pea plants produce large number of seeds in one generation. This helps in the conclusions, helpful for the study completely about monohybrid cross, dihybrid cross, okay, trihybrid cross will be easily we can study. So, what characters are the 7 characters the Mendel's selected? This is important. This question will come. What are the 7 characters Mendel selected for studies? That is important. So the Mendel selected the characters mainly dominant and recessive trait. Dominant character, recessive character. So which will show what you called physically means morphologically the character is shown in the sense that is called dominant, which is not showing or not appearing in the sense that is called recessive character. Like that we are studying. So here the character dominant, recessive. Seed shape, dominant is round. So dominant is what? Round, like this. So very important. It's a round. Now it is wrinkled. Wrinkled seed means that is a seed shape. Wrinkled means recessive trait. Like seed color, yellow and green. Dominant trait is yellow and the recessive trait is green. Yellow dominant, green recessive. Remember this one. Now based upon this only we have monohybrid cross, dihybrid cross and Mendel's laws are there. Flower color, violet, white. Pod shape, full constricted. Pod color, green, yellow. Flower position, axial, terminal. Stem height, tall, dwarf. Once again, seed shape, round and wrinkle. Seed color, yellow, green. Flower color, violet, white. Pod shape, full constricted. Pod color, green, yellow. Flower position, axial, terminal. Stem height, tall, dwarf. Like this, there will be what you called the characters will be there, dominant and recessive trait. These all are very very important characters. Based upon these characters only, Mendel given complete done experiments like how these characters are spreading or the generation to another generation they are passing. So they given completely explanation based upon these characters or these traits. So that only monohybrid trait or monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross, there will be trihybrid class also he done. Cross means you know where will crossing between two plants. So first monohybrid class today we will discuss. Monohybrid class. The crosses, very important word, crosses, we are crossing, which focus on one pair of contrasting, only one pair of contrasting characters. For example, tall, dwarf. Tall is related to growth, height. Dwarf also related to height. So tall and dwarf is one character only. So cross which occurs on one pair of contrasting characters are known as monohybrid cross. Mendel crossed two sets of pea plants. Mendel crossed two sets of pea plants. Okay, crossed two sets of pea plants. One set of plant was above 6 feet in height. Okay, one plant is 6 feet in height. One is okay short plant with an average height 1 foot, 6 feet 1 foot. So Mendel called these plants homozygous tall and homozygous dwarf. See, homozygous capital T, homozygous dwarf, small t, 6 feet 1 feet. These all are called pure strains. These plants represent the parent generation. These are parent generation. So parent generation. The pollen grains were collected from a flower of tall plant. So we are taking from the pollen grains of tall plant flower pollen grains and dusted on the pistil or emaciated flower of dwarf plant. Taking the pollen grains from the tall plant and dusting on the which one, the dwarf plant stigma. So then bagging, you know, emasculated flower of dwarf flower we will be do. So what is the result? Care was taken these plants. The pea generation does not get self-pollinated. After cross-pollination, the flowers were covered with the bags. So there will be cross covers with the after pollination. So we are taking the which one? The capital T pollen grains and spraying on the stigma of what you call dwarf plant. Then we are covering. Then what will happen? You see, that belongs to the plants grown from the seeds. Okay, pollination happened. The plants grown from the seeds of parental plant were hybrid plants. They belong to the F1 generation. See now, F1 generation came. So both F1 parents crossed F1 generation self-pollinated. F1 generation self-pollinated means F2 generation will come. First one is pollinated, parent crossed, parents generation crossed in the sense we will get F1 generation. So F1 generation is called what you call filial, first filial generation. So with this, all plants are wonderfully tall. All plants are tall plants came. Very good. Now this F1 generation plants again self-pollinated. F1 generation self-pollinated means suppose capital T, small t. See now here I am telling explanation. Capital T, tall. Small t, dwarf. Pure homozygous tall, pure homozygous dwarf. These are parents generation. P means here what? Parents generation. Now what we are doing this parent generation, we crossed. So we brought the pollens and spray on the which one? The dwarf plants. Then F1 generation, we are calling this one F1 generation. All F1 generation is capital T dominant, right? So all F1 generation, what I said, were tall. These all are tall plants, tall. Next, what we done? The F1 generation self-pollinated. Self-pollination means same plants itself, without any other plant pollen grains should not have to fall. Then self-pollination after what we recovered is 75 F2 generation. F2 generation 75% tall, 25% dwarf. See, 75% tall and 25% dwarf. Capital T tall. Even capital T small t tall, capital T small t tall. So T is dominant. 75% in the F2 generation are tall and only 22% only dwarf. You will get one doubt. This dwarf not there in the F1 generation but came to F2 generation. This dwarf only is there in the parent generation. That too parent homozygous. Now why this has spreaded means the genes are carrying from generation to another generation. That is only monohybrid cross. That is only called monohybrid class. See now, capital T, small t, pollinator, gametes, male gamete, female gamete, capital T, small t, crossed, capital T, capital T, capital T, small t, capital T, small t, small t, small t. So dominant is tall, expressed in both homo and heterozygous. See, here is a tall. This is homozygous, right? This is a capital T, small t means heterozygous. But in these cases, both tall will be there. But a dwarf, only the recessive trait appears only in homozygous conditions. Homozygous conditions. So that point we should have to remember. So dominant trait expressed in both homo and hetero. Homozygous, heterozygous. But the dwarf is coming only in which condition? Recessive trait appears only in homozygous conditions. Recessive dwarf. So phenotypic ratio. Come on, phenotypic ratio. How many tall? Appearance tall 3. Tall 3. 1 dwarf. 1 dwarf. So phenotypically 3 are tall, 75% tall. One is dwarf. Genotypic ratio. See, gene level you see. How many homozygous? Capital T, 1. Capital T, small t, capital T, small t. Capital T, small t, capital T, small t, 2. Small t, 1. So 1:2:1. That is gene level ratio. Genotypic ratio. Phenotypic external characters. So height, that's it. Tall and dwarf. Tall 3, dwarf 1. Then genotypic. Capital T. Small t, capital T, small t. Small t, small t. So capital T, tall. Capital T, 2. Tall. 1 dwarf. So 1:2:1. That's called genotypic ratio. External character, external shapes we are seeing in the sense. Appearance in the sense. Phenotype. Dominant, recessive. Gene level means this is a dominant. This is a dominant. This is a dominant. This is a recessive. 1:2:1. Like that, there will be monohybrid cross will be there in the which one? The plants. So 25% F2 generation produced only dwarf. So 25% F2 tall plants produce tall plants and self-pollination. So pure tall is TT. Understand? Pure tall. So pure tall in the crossed with what you called the normal small dwarf. You know very well what you call pure dwarf. What you will get? Capital T, small t will be get. So capital T is a dominant. Okay. So now what we will be, you know very well. This is a hybrid tall. This is hybrid tall. So hybrid tall cross it in the sense. What we will get? We will get as what you call 3:1, 1:2:1. So two characters of parents only once expression itself on hybrids. This character was termed as a dominant trait and other is recessive. This is a dominant. So one character only expressing, tall only expressing, another one is not a recessive, not expressing. No, that is recessive, dominant and recessive. So both homo and heterozygous conditions we will see the tallness, but only recessive trait only appears in the homozygous conditions. So like this, monohybrid cross. Which one? Monohybrid cross will be there. This one explained by the Gregor John Mendel. Okay children, listen very carefully. We are going to discuss once again about the 7 pairs of contrasting characters in Pea plants studied by Mendel. So character. What's the character? Seed shape, dominant trait, round. Recessive trait, wrinkle. Seed color, yellow, green. So these all are by using these traits only Mendel done the experiments. He studied about monohybrid, dihybrid, trihybrid crosses like that. So flower color, violet, white. Violet is dominant, white is recessive. Pod shape, dominant, full, recessive, constricted. Pod color, green, dominant, recessive, yellow. Flower position, axial, dominant, terminal, recessive. Stem height, dominant, tall, recessive trait. Monohybrid cross. Crosses which occurs on one pair of contrasting characters are known as monohybrid cross. One pair of contrasting characters is tall, dwarf. That is related to height. Height is the one character. So height. What is it here? I am telling height. Stem height is the one pair contrasting character. Tall and dwarf you know very well. So homozygous tall, capital T, capital T. Homozygous dwarf, small t, small t. So these are the parents. These are the pure strains. These are the parent generation. Okay. Now F1 filial generation will become, when you cross this pure tall and pure dwarf, F1 generation all will become. Capital T, tall plants will become. Capital T, capital T. So F1 generation self-pollinated means F2 generation 75% tall, 25% dwarf. Ratio 3:1. See 3:2 tall, 3 tall, 1 dwarf ratio. See now parents capital T, pure homozygous tall, heterozygous homozygous dwarf, crossed. Capital T, small t. Right? Capital T, small t. F1 tall plants hybrid. Capital T, small t, capital T, small t. So you know very well. 3. Capital T, small t, capital T, capital small t, capital T, small t. So the homozygous is heterozygous. This is a complete homozygous dwarf. But here dwarf not there in the F1 generation, not there dwarf. But if you see F2 generation, dwarf is there. What is there? Dwarf is there. See now. So capital T, self-pollination. This one is done the self-pollination. So 1:2, 2:3. So dominant trait all expressed in both. Which one? Homo and heterozygous conditions. Both conditions, the dominant trait will be expressed. But one the problem is the recessive trait appears only in homozygous conditions. So recessive trait appears only in homozygous, small t, small t. That's it. So phenotypic ratio 3:1 external appearance. Genotypic ratio capital T 1. Capital T small t 2. Small t 1. So 1:2, 2:1. That is called gene level. Gene level. That is called genotypic ratio. So how many? 1:2, 2:1. So 2, 3 tall. Okay, homozygous tall 1. Heterozygous tall 2. Homozygous dwarf 1. So 1:2, 2:1 will be there. Even next class we will be discuss about another important cross. Here only tall we took. Only one character. That is the stem height tall, tall. Height related character we took. Tall and dwarf. Tall and dwarf both related to the height. So one character based upon height we done the monohybrid cross. Means Mendel done the monohybrid cross. So tomorrow round and yellow, wrinkled and green. See, round and yellow, 2 characters. Wrinkled and green. Round and yellow, seed shape, seed color. So round and yellow dominant, 2 characters, shape and color. Shape and color, wrinkle and 2 contrasting characters we will take, and how he crossed and what kind of result he got in the F1 generation. What kind of result he got in the F2 generation. What is phenotypic ratio, dihybrid phenotypic ratio. What is monohybrid genotypic ratio of the dihybrid cross. Tomorrow we will be discuss very clearly. So dihybrid cross means 2 pairs of traits. So what are those? I said round and yellow we will take, wrinkled and green seeds we will cross. So what will come result? We will see in the F1 generation result, F2 generation result. But here monohybrid cross only one contrasting character. That is one trait, stem height only. We are discussed and we saw 3:1, 1:2, 2:1 ratios. So thank you children.